What is up, everyone? Bearkid here, and I'm bringing you guys episode 19 of Gears of War lore. Today I'm going to be talking about Tai. Tai has a really interesting backstory. Honestly, I don't understand why I have yet to make a video about him, because honestly, his story is, well, it's short and simple. It is pretty dang interesting and worth an episode. Okay, well, first off, the thing about Tai's past, I think that was really interesting about his past, is he was never really aligned with the COG or the UIR. He was part of these, these other little indies that lived on islands, and they were just kind of like their own little separate people. They didn't really have nothing to do with the COG or the UIR. They had nothing to do with the war. They were just their own independent people. He used to live on this island called Aroma Island. Hopefully I'm reading that right. I got it right here on the Gearspedia. And I just really wanted to know how to say his island's name. I think that's how you say it. But anyways, he used to live on that island peacefully. Nothing, he's just a normal guy with his family and everything. He's just a normal person. One day during the war between the COG and the UIR over the whole, emulsion thing, they were fighting the Pendulum Wars. He comes across his whole village, his whole entire village, slaughtered by the UIR. His whole family, everyone he ever cared about, just completely slaughtered by the UIR. And he went on a rampage after that. He just went insane. He went crazy. He jumped into the jungle that the UIR scouts were going through, and he basically pulled like a Tarzan. He was just wearing like a loincloth, using bow and arrows, knives, and he just went off all freaking primal on them, and he just completely destroyed a bunch of different soldiers. And then word started spreading about him doing that, and he was just going crazy, killing a bunch of UIR soldiers. And I think that was really cool that I want to read this one little quick part that he says in the comic, because his story is also in the comic, as it says, much is learned on the hunt. How to mask one's scent, how to blend in with one's surrounding, how to move silently, and how to move quickly, and how to kill efficiently, how to adapt, and most of all, how to survive. And he's basically just going on about how he uses his tactics and everything to kill, these soldiers. And one time while he's going through the forest and attacking these people, he comes across this lone soldier, a soldier by himself. He's aiming his bow and arrow right at this soldier. He's about to take his shot, and then he turns around and notices that the soldier is not a UIR soldier, and the soldier tells him, "I wouldn't do that if I were you." The soldier was Marcus Phoenix. He ran into Marcus Phoenix. Marcus Phoenix tells him about the COG and how they're fighting this war against the UIR, that they're basically allies in a sense because they're both after the same people. Tai joins the COG because of this. This is why he joined the COG, so he could avenge his loved ones, and so he can, work alongside this army that is fighting the same fight, so he could be a part of this bigger thing, this bigger army. And he's just a big monster for the COG. He's just completely destroying UIR soldiers like they're nothing. He's just this big monster that just completely aiding the COG and just helping, them win a big part of the war. And one thing that's really interesting about Tai that I really like that they showed in the comics, that was also mentioned in the games kind of briefly, but one thing that they expanded on in the comics is they talk about his religion, his like what his beliefs are. And he goes on, like, there's a part where you see him, he's fighting a UIR soldier, excuse me, and he guns him down, he kills the guy, and the guy's like bleeding out in his hands, but he's being like, even though he pretty much killed the guy, he's being good about it. He's just kind of like holding him, waiting for him to pass away. He's just being, kind of respectful in a sense. And after the guy dies, he immediately picks the guy up and uses him as a meat shield. And you might think, oh, that's kind of like disrespectful in a way, he's kind of like almost comforting this guy he just gunned down, but at the same time he picks him up and uses him as a meat shield. But the reason why he does that is because his people's belief is right here. Like, I'll just read this for you. I like this passage a lot. He says, "My people believe that the body was sacred, but only when a soul dwelled within. Once a soul has passed, the body is but a husk." So basically just saying he believes, people, life and everything is important. He believes in life. But the second that your soul leaves your body is nothing anymore. Your body's not important anymore. So that's just one of his major beliefs. And he was just a huge great add-on to the COG. He fought many battles. He defended Shinto, like during after E-Day. He was actually the reason why the COG Lancer, the chainsaw, was created. Like, they changed it in Judgment. I don't consider Judgment canon, but in the comics and everything, in the novels, they established that the reason why the chainsaw bayonet was even thought of was because there's a part. I said this earlier in another video, but I'll just reestablish it again. There's a part where him and Marcus are in a store, like a normal department store, and they get attacked by locusts, and Marcus is kind of in trouble. So what Tai does is he finds like this random buzzsaw that's sitting on a shelf in the store, turns that shit on, and completely chainsaws the locust in half. So he got that idea of the chainsaw from doing that, and then they gave that idea to Adam Phoenix, which later added on to the Lancer. So he was actually the reason why the chainsaw bayonet was even created, because he got that idea. Hey, let's use like a buzzsaw to chainsaw this locust in half, and let's, you know, Marcus saw it as a great idea, and he gave the idea to Adam Phoenix and decided to add it on to their weaponry. So he's actually the main reason why the chainsaw was even existed in their world. The chainsaw bayonet, I mean. And then eventually, you know, we saw what happened in Gears 2, where he gets captured by Scourge, and, you know, they take him, and he's tortured terribly. Oh my god, I feel bad. Like, I hate reading the part of the comic because, you know, they take him, they hang him by his skin, by like these like huge like metal ropes or whatever the heck you want to call them, and they have like hooks, and they're basically just holding him up by his own skin, and then they whip him, just whipping him, just torturing him. And he, you know, he eventually, the reason why he killed himself was kind of also because of his belief. He was tortured to the point of breaking, and it was also kind of a belief. Like, one thing he says right here, his last, you know, thoughts and stuff before he killed himself were basically, my grandfather once told me that a soul will leave its body when it is time, not always at death, he said. When the body becomes a prison, it is time for the soul to escape. And once the soul is gone, the body will follow soon after. There is light, there is darkness. So he kind of like, it kind of gave a more reason why he killed himself, because he felt like his body was already dead. Like, he was already dead even though he was alive. Like, he was still breathing, but at that point, after being tortured so much, he was pretty much dead already. So that's why he took his own life. That's why he did that. And I just really wanted to make this episode talking about Tai, because it really gives a really good insight on his character, because he had really strong beliefs. He was a really good moral person. Like, he had strong morals, and it sucks that he died that way, because honestly, Tai was a really good character in my opinion. And the thing that was actually really interesting is, in an interview with Rod Ferguson, they even stated that he kind of regrets killing off Tai. Like, he kind of wishes that they could have done more with his character. Anyways, guys, that's today's episode of Gears of War Lore. If you liked this episode, please definitely hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think. Hit the like button for Tai, guys. Amazing character. Wish he didn't die. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and take it easy.